Well, so that's where, right? That's where when you say like I'm reasonable with the Milo thing, well, because you have to take into context other people, right? Is it a hit job? But also what you said earlier, where people are human beings, and let's talk it out. So Milo said some things that even he said he apologized for. Others he said was misconstrued, but it's and then there's the George Takei thing, which is different but still the same. You know what I mean?
George Takei thing you have to explain to people because most people have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, so this is a problem for me. I have conversations in my head that then I utter words halfway
Well, you're
through.
just so entrenched with media. You have so much shit coming into your head every day that you assume everybody else is watching the same videos.
But they're just actually living their lives.
So they did a hit piece on George Takei essentially to sort of show that George Takei. Well, he was talking about his own personal experiences when he was very young with a camp counselor who did some sexually inappropriate things to him. Right. But he was talking about them in a very positive way, that he enjoyed it, and people were saying George Takei is promoting sex amongst 13-year-olds as being okay. No, he's talking about his own personal experience and being honest about it.
Well, and then the way that ends up becoming a comparison is that because it ends up being this weird argument of numbers, of lines in the sand, where he said, I said 13 because that's when I had my first experience. Then we talked about the age of, oh God, I'm trying to remember. He talked about the age of 14, which was, I think, when you were, so that was a conversation he had with you with the priest situation. Right? And then people were pointing out that his mindset changed. And my argument there was what you're talking about. To me, even if he, at any point before he acknowledged it, to me it sounded like he was a victim.
Yes.
But then that creates the argument too of, if someone's a victim early in life, what does that excuse later on? Now, I'm not making the argument that Milo then went on to do and became a Sandusky, right? He was having a conversation and it's words. But at what point do we excuse things? And that's just like, that's a conversation I like to have where it's not damning. I don't want to go in on a victim, but also at the same time, I'm going, it's fucking weird. It's me. And I think it's completely wrong if you have an adult that's trying to fuck a 13-year-old. I think that's 100%. Completely wrong. Like, just when you, and I feel like you always have to put people in your in their shoes. Where if I was a parent and I'm dropping my kid off to fucking middle school and I find out some 25-year-old is fucking my son, I'm gonna go to jail. But that's gonna be a fucking dead person, 100%. That someone's molesting my child, no, done.
Yeah, I mean, I completely feel you and I understand what you're saying. I think the Milo situation is very bizarre because I think there is irreparable damage that's done to people when they're molested as children. And I think Milo has been really clear about the fact that he was molested, and he's tried to paint it in a positive light. But he tries to paint a lot of fucked up things in a positive light, and it could easily be his rationalizing and trying to figure
100%.
out.
No one wants to be a victim in their own life, right?
So he's made it a positive thing.
He took control. It was him.
Yes.
So that's why I say, like, let's think of it in that way rather than going, he's against me, let's just destroy him.
Well, I think the
he
problem
says outlandish
is
things.
That Milo does that. I mean, he's a merchant of outrage. That's his business. And when people get outraged back at him, and if somehow or another sticks, like this pedophile stuff, you can't be upset. This is the game that you started to play. If you get knocked the fuck out, if you're Mike Tyson and all of a sudden you get knocked out, are we supposed to feel bad for you? You've been knocking people out your whole career.
Right.
He's a merchant of outrage. If it's valid, if the outrage is valid, and I think it's valid. I think that what they're saying about what he was saying is absolutely valid. If he says that there can be incredibly positive relationships between very young men or very young boys rather, and older gay men, and that this could keep men from suicide, hit the brakes.
Right.
Stop. No, it's fucking illegal for a reason.
Right.
And you could potentially be encouraging someone who's fence sitting right now thinking about fucking kids to hop right over to the other side and start doing it because it was positive for Milo.
It does
he
become
said
that
it was
conversation.
beneficial. It is the conversation.
It is that conversation because also to that extent there might be someone that is 13 that's being abused that all of a sudden feels like that's normal.
Right.
So but let's talk about it. I 100% don't agree with the words. It is a tricky situation because you are talking about someone that was a victim of heinous crime, and then just then talking about it and going from there. But
it's also, he said that he was gay at the time. He knew he was gay, and he was the sexual predator. And every situation has its own variables, right? And in look, he's clearly a damaged guy. Right. Okay, and I like him. He's clearly a damaged guy. But the way he lashes out and the way he gets attention, I don't like the left's reaction to him. I like that far less than I like what he's saying. I feel like with a guy like Milo, he's not doing any real violent things. He's not doing any real damage. And what you should do is confront him with words.
Yes.
Debate him. Pick apart his arguments about feminism, about transgender people, about gay rights, because he's got some crazy thoughts about gay people, and he's gay. He thinks that it's a choice, and he thinks that it's offensive, and if he could have a pill to not be gay, he would take it in a heartbeat. And like, he said all kinds of crazy shit.
I think when you have someone like Milo or anyone else, the number one thing shouldn't be let me silence that person, right? Because that's just gonna, one, bolster them, validate them, let them talk. Right.
Yes.
So when you see situations like Berkeley, where I had people that sent me videos, and there was a protest in the beginning that it was just people being outspoken, and then there was the fucking crazy chaos of people. I know that you've talked about it before, of like the people getting sprayed in the face with fucking pepper spray, people beaten in the streets. Obviously, I hate those people. What I really, really hate is the people that aren't doing that are like, yeah, that's what we should be doing, that aren't doing. Like, are you fucking crazy? You think this is a positive? You think this bolsters your argument that we're going to go against what we don't agree that they're saying with fucking violence? You think that makes you the winner? That's insane. It's straight up insane.
Well, it's also they put these blanket labels. He's a Nazi. He promotes genocide. They say all these things, and they say these things so that they can attack.
Well, there was that whole like,
he's a fascist,
punch a Nazi movement after Richard Spencer got punched in the face. Which, once again,
who's Richard Spencer?
Or wait, am I getting the name wrong? No, the guy that I'm gonna double check.
Go ahead.
You've made me doubt myself now. He's part of
You might be right. I just don't know who it is.
Yeah. You always see his face.
name?
He just got booted out of
Richard
CPAC,
Spencer.
from my understand.
Richard Spencer.
So he talks about just look him up. You're not gonna. I imagine you aren't gonna be a fan, but people are like, he's a literal Nazi. We got to punch these people. That people like overjoyed.
So he really is a Nazi.
People just happy. But
is
the
he a
problem
white
is,
supremacist? This guy?
I don't want to label this guy on it. I think that you should.
Does he call himself a white nationalist or anything like that? Is he one of those guys?
That's the website.
Neo-Nazi.
Oh, he's a
See
neo-Nazi.
neo-Nazi everywhere. I don't know if he calls himself that. I'll double check.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't want to slam a label on someone and then do that
hard.
thing, right?
It's
hard.
Yeah.
But so he got punched in the face. Everyone fucking cheered for it. But the problem is, then you move the goalposts of who's a fucking Nazi. All of a sudden, PewDiePie's a fucking Nazi. Everyone's a Nazi, and we can just be violent.
Punch Nazis. Yeah, the punch Nazi thing.
And so the whole thing is just debate these people, right? So like just let them be their own undoing if they are actually that wrong.
One of the things that I learned from watching Bourdain's original show, the No Reservation show, and that it changed my opinion on things, because I didn't have a strong opinion on food before that, other than that I really liked it. I didn't think of it as an art form. And watching his show and seeing the passion, his appreciation for food and for the way it's grown and brought to table, and the production of it, and then ultimately the flavor of it and the taste, and his admiration for chefs and you guys as well. His admiration for it and his appreciation for the way everything's put together made me realize, like, oh, this is an art form.
It's a craft. And you know, Tony did something. Tony was the most faithful, we were so lucky to be on that ship with him, you know, that he took us aboard. And you could see he had the same apprenticeship we did, you know, like suffering in like big bistro kitchens and stuff. And you think about it, the guy, he didn't make the promise to himself that when he'd get rich and famous, he was going to buy a big house and not talk to people. He helped every cook not walk out of the kitchen and get famous, but get a voice, you know?
Well, even
Yes.
outside of the television show, the work he did in private is massive.
And not look like a dirty guy that makes the pasta in the back, you know? All of a sudden, it's like, yeah, the manager in the suit and the owners, but who's the guy in the back?
Yeah.
You know?
No, he had appreciation for everybody, and he had a real passion for the process.
Yeah,
And the marginal characters, you know, there's lots of commercial restaurants in the city of Montreal, in any given city that he went to. And he's able to isolate, let's say, the marginal characters in every city that, we're historically bound, kind of. Fred and I practice a weird faction of French cooking called cuisine bourgeoise, and only kind of Tony and a handful of other guys could look at what we do and go, "Oh, those fuckers, they're up to that. No one's up to that."
Curated
You know,
like his crew.
You
of
guys are into that,
misfit,
really. He goes,
know?
"You guys are the only people, like the last of the Mohicans, that do this kind of food." And we know, yeah, no, we can't stop. We got to keep on.
What a great guy to get it too.
Yeah, because nobody does, right?
Right.
Nobody understands, like, the rabbit hole we're down. Tony did.
Yeah, the cognoscente. Yeah, he really did deeply influence my appreciation for food, the way I think about it. And again, treating it as an art form, which I just thought it was just delicious. I didn't think of it as like, oh, these guys are making temporary art. They're making art that you're gonna enjoy now, you know. And you can't put it on film. I mean, you can, but you're not gonna get it all. You're just gonna want to go out and experience it.
Yeah, ultimately, food is you can't. We go and do like we're asked to do like demonstrations. You know, you can go on a big stage, it's 5,000 people to talk about food or make like little crackers with smoked salmon on stage. Food is not fit for a stage.
No.
Food is for a table for us to enjoy. You know, with a
Yeah.
fork, a knife. We talk about it. We
Yeah.
go hunting. That's what food is.
People offer us food shows all the time, and I mean, I can't. It doesn't work.
And
you
it's
know?
like, what's the concept? Well, you guys can be in a pickup truck and you go and visit your suppliers and maybe you have a bottle of wine with them after. I was like, dude, like we worked hard not to copy our like fellow, you know, culinarians.
Yeah, you look at our food, it's like it's ours. It's not,
TV producers are out there just like blatantly proposing the previous show to you again, you know?
Yes. Well, that's one of the things right after Anthony died. There was some talk about Gordon
vacuum.
Ramsay doing some very similar show, and the outcry against it was enormous. I mean, he was just getting assaulted online. I mean, it was crazy.
Everybody that I was talking to, our agent who represents us for our book, and she was saying like
It was the same.
all
as
the
Tony.
big production companies like are being berated by people pitching who's going to be the next Tony, right?
You know, I don't want to say that, but one of the character and you guys and you could take over
Yeah, you could do it.
because you guys, you know, the way he went in West Virginia, and it wasn't like Republican, Democrat. Like he went to places, and he's like, yeah, sure, I have my views, but let's break bread, you know. And I always said that like all our countries are divided on issues, but there's nobody that overlaps them with a coherent vision.
Everybody
and
loves each
there's-
other when there's delicious food on the table, man.
Yeah.
You know?
And guys
Yeah.
like you with like a clear view and a rational and science-based and evidence-based view on things, and like Tony, just have such a voice now in our countries that I could see you doing a food show.
I
And-
love food, but I'll never do a food show. I just can't imagine.
No,
But
because
but
you
love
ask good
watching them.
questions.
I like doing shows. I mean, I love having guys like you on and talking about food, but it takes a special type of person to want to travel 300 days a year, you know, and that's essentially what Tony was doing. And I think that has a massive toll. It takes a massive toll on your body. It takes a massive toll on your psyche. I
Your
don't.
family, everything.
Yes, it's not healthy. I know.
There's not enough melatonin or like CBD or like
No, it's not enough in the
cleanses
world.
to help
No.
you with that.
I travel more than enough already, and I've cut my traveling way back. I'm down to only 10 UFCs a year now, and I do, you know, comedy around that. And
I believe that this
stand-up comedy,
nation
but
should
I
commit
consciously
itself
make the effort
to
travel
achieving the goal
much less,
before this
because
decade is out
just don't
of
think
landing a
food-
man on the moon and returning him safely
and
to the
also
earth.
that road life,
No single
you know,
space
the
project in this
drinking and all
period
that other stuff that comes
will be
with it,
more
that
impressive to
accentuates all the
mankind
problems that you have.
or more important for the long-range
That's also
exploration of
one the
space.
things that was dragging Tony down when he would talk about the sadness and the loneliness of being on the road. I can't help but, from knowing him and partying with him, I can't help but have thought that a lot of that was probably accentuated by the alcohol consumption. And you know, and you guys could speak
Sure.
to that now that you're clean and you're not experiencing those rugged hangovers every morning.
I was always worried for Tony that way. Just that, you know, that hotel living,
Yeah.
planes, trains, and automobiles constantly. And it wasn't like for a year. It was like
Hey, it's
12 years.
It's a sad life, to watch river monsters at 11 in the morning burping Jameson. And I'm referring to many occasions in our lives where you're traveling in a hotel room and you're in a beautiful place, but like it just
You feel weird.
yeah.
Yeah, I've taken steps to mitigate some of that. One of the big ones is I travel with friends. I bring really good comics to work with me on the road, so that when I'm in these cities with friends, and we just go. It's like they're family, so we'll go eat together, we'll go work out together, and try to keep the unhealthy shit to a minimum.
I've always found Eddie really interesting. He's a trip.
He's definitely a trip.
And you can tell he's a thinker, you know what I mean? He's a very analytical guy, a very analytical grappler with great flexibility. I just always would watch him and go, this guy's fucking slick, man.
Yeah, he knows a lot of shit, especially when it comes to jiu-jitsu.
And I'm talking, I'm going to see him tomorrow morning.
Oh, really? What are you doing?
Sam Tripoli.
Sure, I know Sam very well.
Yeah. So I'm doing that show, and Eddie's going to be there. I want him to explain Flat Earth to me.
He's not going to be able to.
I want to know, man.
Well, this is what it is. Eddie thinks that everybody's lying. That everybody in NASA and the government, and because of that, I believe he has a blind spot. And that if they're telling you the world's round, he's saying, well, it can't be round.
Right.
And it's not a good way to think.
No.
But it's the same reason why he's so good at jiu-jitsu. It's because he sees an idea and he just pursues it and chases after it.
And he
but
turns
in
it
jiu-jitsu,
around. Right?
Jiu-jitsu's like, it's all quantified. It's all right there. Two bodies. It's all very simple. There's no mystery.
Right,
It's
right.
just a figure. It's just figuring out a puzzle.
Yeah. But I can see how people get that way, because I was a guy who, not to go off on a tangent, but I think it's fun to think about. In 1971, when I was, a young boy standing in line in Albia, Iowa with my grandma and my mom when the farm collapse was happening, when Nixon took us off the gold standard, right? Shit fell apart for the farmers right away. And my grandma was one of the first people in line to get her money out of the Farmers National Bank in Albia, Iowa. And she got it out. And I remember still to this day standing there and asking my mom and my grandma, what the hell is going on? Why is this happening? What's going on? You could see the panic. The farmers went for blocks, right, from all around that part of Iowa. And I think that's what started the wheels turning in my head about being a contrarian thinker. You know what I mean?
There's real conspiracies, and
Yeah.
there's real things where people misunderstand the actual facts.
Right.
Flat Earth's not one of them.
No.
It's just not. It's just not. I mean, there's so many stuff. I mean, look, snipers use the curvature of the Earth to calculate ballistics.
Yeah.
It's a real thing. You
Right.
know? I mean, there's plenty of shit that's not real.
But I want Eddie to
that's
tell
a
me.
real thing.
I want him to explain
It's
it to
going to
me.
be frustrating. I don't know if he believes it anymore. He might have let it go by now. I'm hoping he did.
Right.
I don't talk to him about it anymore. We had a few conversations about it on the podcast, and initially he thought it was stupid. He thought the flat Earth concept was stupid, and then all of a sudden he started being open-minded to it. I'm like, what the fuck are you saying? Like, what in the fuck are you saying? This is crazy. And he's like, and he kept going to they faked the moon landing. Like, it's not even the same people.
Right.
Like, if they did, that was a long fucking time ago. You're talking about people right now. There's satellites all over the world. There's a lot of people that think satellites are fake. I think Eddie thinks dinosaurs aren't real. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting? And the first time I fought in the UFC, I went into, thanks dinosaurs are,
Yeah, it hurts. Hurts my head.
I went into the production trailer at my first UFC. I wanted to see what was going on in there, right? That always intrigued me, how TV was put together, right? And I was lucky enough to bring my daughter to one of our broadcasts with Access TV, and Lonnie, he's the expert to find the satellites. He's got an app on his phone. Have you ever seen guys do that?
No.
He has an app on his phone where he can punch it in and do this across the sky and spot all the satellites, right?
Oh, interesting.
So he knows how to dial into them, call up, know the coordinates to turn the dish towards, and lock onto a percentage of the satellite, receptor to get it beamed back down, all that sort of stuff. So he was teaching my daughter how all that stuff was done, and it was the first time I'd ever seen it. I was like, this is pretty amazing stuff. But yeah, you can see the curvature of the Earth and how the satellites are set across the horizon, right?
Well, you could track satellites. The thing is, these guys don't even believe in satellites. Here's what the problem is. If someone has no interruption and they put together a video, and that video, they're articulate and they sound calm, they use big words, and they show you images, that they're claiming show that the Earth is flat, that there's an ice wall outside of Antarctica, and that the government won't let you go there. They start saying all these things. If there's no one there, like Neil deGrasse Tyson type guy there, he's going, hey, no. That's not true, and here's why, and here's how we know, and here's what we found out, and here's a test you can do yourself, and here's how you can figure it out, and here's what you could find online, and like for the longest time they were trying to say that there was no full pictures of the Earth, that the Earth, like every photo you see of the Earth is a composite. No, there's a fucking Japanese satellite called the Himawari 8. It takes full images of the Earth, high resolution, every 10 minutes. You can go Google it. You can watch them. There's the NASA has one too. There's giant photos of the fucking Earth from 22,000 miles out or whatever the hell it is. I'm like, it's real.
Right. Yeah.
It's fucking real. Like, there's a lot of shit to think about that's fascinating.
All the way around.
On both sides.
Because I'm not a big conspiracy theorist. I should be, but
Why should you be?
I guess that there's always more going on than we think. But I also think that most people are too dumb to not get caught almost every single time.
Yeah, you say that, but there's a lot of shit that happens where people do get caught eventually, and you realize, like, how long were you guys running this?
What's your favorite conspiracy theory that turned out to be true?
It's hard to say whether it turned out to be true, but JFK is the biggest one.
And where did you land on that?
I landed on that. It's very possible that Lee Harvey Oswald was involved. It's very possible that other people were involved too. It's very possible that he shot at Kennedy and other people shot at Kennedy at the same time, and that he was a patsy and he was put up. Like, he was obviously involved in a lot of intelligence agency shenanigans. He went to Russia, he married a Russian woman, came back to the United States. He had been involved in all sorts of communist propaganda shit. He was definitely not like an above ground guy. He was a shady dude. And it's entirely possible that he was one person out of a plot to kill the president, and they put it all on him, and they had Jack Ruby shoot him. But everybody goes black and white on that. You either go Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone, or you go he was innocent and the CIA had him assassinated because he was trying to get rid of the CIA, which he was. I mean, Kennedy was trying to pull us out of Vietnam. He was trying to get rid of the CIA. He was trying to get rid of the Federal Reserve. There was a lot of like super controversial ideas that Kennedy was trying to push forward, and someone killed him.
I always go to the simple thing, which is, why would Jack Ruby shoot him?
Right. Yeah.
Because a lot of people say, oh, he was just a patriot who got mad and happened to be there. But which maybe makes perfect sense. But if he was told to do it, it's such a suicide, end up in jail for the rest of your life mission.
Yeah.
It doesn't make, to me, it falls, things like that fall apart there. That's what's
They
so
do,
funny.
but it's also possible they told him, listen, just shoot him. We'll get you off. Yeah. We'll find some sort of a way. Like, or they might have had something horrible on him. Yeah. Jack Ruby was clearly embedded in the mob. The mob was angry at Kennedy because they helped Kennedy win. They helped him win Illinois.
Yes.
You know, I mean, they helped him become the president. And there was absolute evidence that they were mad at him once he became president, because then he started doing things that were against their interests. There was a lot of people pissed off at Kennedy. You really should. You should eat some animal protein without. I mean, if you oppose the moral aspect of killing an animal, which I totally understand and appreciate, and that's what led me to become a hunter in the first place, is that I was really uncomfortable watching these animal rights videos of factory farming. I thought it was disgusting. I was like, I don't want to participate in this.
Yeah, it's reprehensible.
Hunting is a different thing, man. To me, hunting is this intense. It's very spiritual in a way. I mean, people don't get it because they see you celebrating when it's over, because it's very, very, very difficult to close in on a wild animal.
What are you hunting?
Mostly elk. Well, elk's my favorite for two reasons. One, it's very delicious, super nutritious. Also, if I shoot one elk, I can eat it for like 8 months.
What are you doing,
like
freezing them,
hundreds of pounds.
salting them?
Yeah, freezing them.
So you're out stalking an elk on the plains.
Yeah.
Where are you? Like near where you live? You just go out? Do you travel on bikes or something? How do you follow them?
Well, you do travel on bikes if you whitetail hunt. A lot of times you'll go into the woods with bikes because they don't leave a scent the way your feet do. Mm-hmm. You know, and animals don't associate the sound of a bike the way they associate it with like the sound of stepping, bipedal hominids stepping towards
they've evolved.
them.
Bipedal.
Yeah, they see you on a bike, they don't even freak out as much.
Delightful. Never seen that
like,
before.
What's that?
Wow, my brain!
What are these things? Yeah.
So elk, are they like herd animals? So you see like a herd of them?
Yeah, you see a herd of them, and you try to figure out which way the wind's blowing, and you try to get close to them. Is this a video of us? Yeah, this is a video of us from...
what a beautiful place. I mean, I can see the harmony
Utah
of nature.
mountains. Yeah, so that's
God.
an elk.
Now, the thing is with me, I see that elk there, and I sort of feel like a sort of, I've watched too much Disney.
Yeah.
You know, like I see that elk and I feel like I'm Bambi, literally.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I don't have it. Like, is that early in the morning? You look tired. Not tired.
Might be late afternoon, actually.
Can you
I
tell
think that
from
was
this?
late afternoon. Yeah.
Like, say, like I from that position, I couldn't. Like, I would love the game of being able to aim, because actually I've had to go down gun ranges. It turns out I'm a pretty good shot. You know, it's nice to see that thing come back with like holes around its abdomen and its head.
Right.
And I think satisfied. There, you've been dealt with, paper man. But like the elk, I couldn't. I've got too much empathy in me that I couldn't deal with the feeling of. After it was shot, I like it, like almost thinking about it, the sentimentality of it. I've sentimentalized it now. You know, at least I don't eat meat and stuff like that, so it's not like I have all those feelings, but can handle it in a packaged, portioned off way.
Yeah,
it's just I feel too much like, oh, that creature. So what in your head when you're doing it, when you're pulling the trigger, you're not having what's going on in your mind?
Well, you only are hunting these mature animals that have already passed on their genes. You also are recognizing that if you're not killing these things, they're not. It's not like they're going to live forever. They live a short life with a very violent death. It's either wolves or mountain lions or bears or something's going to take them out.
Yeah.
And what you're doing is essentially dipping your toe into the natural world. And I've heard the argument that, well, this is ridiculous because everyone can't do that. You know, if everyone went out and hunted all the animals, there would be no animals left, which is true. But I'm not everyone. And so I don't, you
can't really use that if everyone did it argument.
It's a good argument because if you're encouraging people to hunt, it is kind of a good argument because it's not realistic. It's not sustainable. But the other thing to recognize is that the reason why most of this wildlife exists in the first place, a lot of it was wiped out in the early 20th century from what they call market hunting. In the late 19th century, early 20th century, they didn't have refrigeration, and it was hard to get food, and we didn't have the same sort of large-scale agriculture that we have today. And so when someone would want meat, somebody would either have to hunt it for you, and you would go to the market and get that hunted food, or you would go out and do it yourself. And they basically wiped out most of the wildlife in North America to the point of extinction. Whitetail, deer, elk, they've been extirpated from the majority of their range in North America and only been replaced in a few other places. But the places where they've been replaced, it's all through money that was generated through hunting tags, all through billions and billions of dollars. There's a thing called the Robertson-Pickman, I think that's what it's called, Act, where 10%, if you buy hunting gear and equipment, 10% of that money goes to habitat restoration, making sure that rangers and forest people get funded. So there's the Fish and Game Department gets funded, and also population conservation, making sure that the populations are healthy, repopulating certain areas with elk and deer. And this has all been done through the money that's generated through hunting.
Yeah, I can see that looking at my own feelings towards it, I can see that there's potentially I'm bringing a sentimentality to the idea of animals that's like anthropomorphic.
Yes.
Like I'm like, oh, you can't kill that. What about its babies? You know, I mean, like I'm thinking about things like that. But I live in a rural area in Britain where like hunting is normal and agriculture is normal. And I wouldn't get very far if I was sort of like, you can't shoot those pheasants. Look at their feathers. They're beautiful. You know what I mean? Like it's not a helpful attitude. So whilst I in myself, I couldn't do that because it messes me up on a sort of feels like a very sort of deep, visceral level, but I feel that this is precisely the kind of territory where we have to look at acknowledging and tolerating difference between us. This is where I feel like there's sort of these ossified, polarised positions between right and left are starting to take root, because if someone like me who don't eat meat, don't eat animal products and wouldn't hunt for ethical reasons, start trying to impose on other people people. No, you shouldn't hunt because of this, that. Have you not watched Bambi? You know, like that's going to mean that people aren't able to explore who they are. I've let go of judging people around things that I don't agree with, because I reckon I don't know everything. You know what I mean? This is about my morality, is about how I behave. And if people said to me, I'm thinking about going hunting, I'd go, well, these are my feelings about it. However, though, I just heard that hunting does contribute apparently to the survival of some species, and there is an argument that it's quite natural and indigenous, and it's probably a way of getting in contact with who we are originally as hunting people. It's an important part of our anthropological history, and possibly a lot of the condemnation of hunting is part of the rejection of who we used to be as we become overly civilized and more detached from what it is to be human, whether that's sacred or pragmatic. We don't know what human beings are anymore. We reject our own sexuality, we reject our own bodies, we reject, we're trying to turn ourselves into these sort of cyborgs, these emotionless, sexless, meaningless creatures. Where is our passion? Where is our connection with the sacred? They would go, hold on, I only asked you about hunting. When are you going to stop talking? Never. You gave me an in. I will pummel you with my belief system on all things. So I don't feel like that ain't where I get into judging people.
I've thought about that with like what we decide to show and not show after mass shootings here.
Yeah.
I was in Pittsburgh like right after, and I was, because I knew the rabbi who was doing some of the cleanup, and because of religious reasons.
And your bat mitzvah
was there.
That is so crazy.
And yeah, my dad knew 6 of the people who were murdered. And, but like, it was really crazy to me how locked down it was. And like, you couldn't take it. I was there with a photographer, and you couldn't take any pictures at all of anything. And there's a real lockdown on showing people because we don't want to terrify people. But I've wondered, would it prick people's consciousness about the reality of what gun violence looks like? Like the carnage, like the people that I know that saw it said it looked like a war zone. And would that change public policy? And would that be a positive thing? Or would we just become numb to it like we become numb to everything else? I don't know.
That's a very good question. I'm never in favor of suppressing information, even horrific information. I was a big critic of that during the Bush administration when they passed laws on whether or not you're allowed to show actual coffins, just coffins. You weren't allowed to show coffins being flown back. I felt like that's a disgrace. You should, if we're going to consider whether or not we want
our
to
tax
be
dollars
involved,
to go to war.
We should be able to understand the real consequences, and one of the best ways is to not just get information in terms of text. Text is very difficult for you to conceptualize. But when you're seeing American flags covering coffins, and you're seeing hundreds of them, and you realize these are your neighbors, these are your neighbors' children, this is people that you know, and they're dying over there, and you can't really, you can't wrap your head around why they're doing it. And whether or not it's right, whether or not we should have been there, and then whether or not there actually were weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, whether or not we're in the business of nation building, whether or not Ron Paul is right, or whether or not other people are right. Well, who's right? Like the only way we're really going to get a clear picture is to see a picture, to have an actual picture.
Yeah, well, that's why I've thought about this a lot, because right now I think in most Americans' minds it's like, the shooting happens, then it becomes a hashtag, then it becomes a T-shirt, then it becomes a memorial thing, a memorial concert. I mean, it's like actually sickening, like the choreography of it. And I think what's lost is what it looks like.
Yeah.
And this rabbi in Pittsburgh, who's really amazing, described to me what he saw. And I'll never forget just the description of what he told me. And I've wondered a lot in the wake of that, and I'll think about it when the next shooting happens. Would that have made a difference at all in terms of waking people up?
What's fucked up is you said when the next shooting happens.
Well,
that's what's fucked up.
Well, we know it will happen.
Yeah.
We know it will happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Why?
Why? Because there are a lot of guns in this country, and people have access to those guns who are not only mentally unwell, sometimes they're just evil. They want to kill people, and they want to be famous. I mean, for a million reasons. But the fact that we are living in a culture that seems to worship people's freedom to own those weapons more than human life seems crazy to me. It really does.
I get what you're saying. The argument against that would be this. Look, the real crazies believe that these things are happening and that they're happening because of the fact the government wants to take away our guns. This is the real crazies.
Explain that. I'm not sure I follow.
That they are making these people do these things.
The government?
That the worst aspects of our society, whatever, fill in the blank with whatever left-wing conspiracy, that, whatever person, whatever boogeyman,
Okay.
George Soros, whatever
Okay,
the fuck
okay.
the boogeyman is, that the whatever boogeyman or cabal of boogie people, that they are somehow or another either using like Manchurian Candidate type influence, or whatever the fuck they're doing. They're getting people to do this, and then even creating false flags where these things didn't happen, so they can take away guns. This is look.
But this is like swamp terror. This is like Pizzagate. Like
it is. You're right. It is. It is. It is dumb, but it's real. It's real in terms of the influence that it has. That people actually do believe that there are these false flag events that they're designing to get your guns. That people are training people to go out and kill a bunch of people so they can take away your guns. So it makes them more rabid about their support of the Second Amendment, and they feel like they're being attacked on all sides.
Have you had Merkel Shermer on here? Like,
yes,
you need
recently.
Oh, good.
Last week.
The mindset of the conspiracy thinker is totally fascinating to me.
It is. Mick West is actually
I don't get
just
it.
as good or even better. He runs Metabunk.
Okay.
He's
I
a
don't know
fascinating guy.
Okay.
I used to do this show. I did the show for a while on Sci-Fi called Joe Rogan Questions Everything. And one of the things that we went into was why people believe in chemtrails, why people believe that the heat of jet engines, which causes these artificial clouds when it interacts with condensation in the atmosphere and creates, it creates artificial clouds. You see contrails.
Yes.
Some people believe that these are that someone's spraying something, and that this weather control from these commercial jets, that they're, somehow there's this gigantic conspiracy of all these people involved, and that this is in some way they're either doing weather control or they're controlling us or mind control. It depends on who you ask. And
Clearly.
But Mick had a really interesting way of discussing it.
Okay.
And one of the things that he said is this is like the training wheels for conspiracy theory, because you see it in the sky. Like, look, there it is. I don't remember that. Meanwhile, there's photographs from World War II where you can see, from the 1940s, you can see contrails in the sky that look just like the ones up here. But people will say, I don't remember those when we were kids. And people go, yeah, I don't. And then it starts fueling this paranoid idea that there's this program going on. And then there are real programs that the government is considering to combat global warming, where they talked about this in the 70s and the 80s. They talked about reflective particles in the atmosphere. I think they were when they were concerned that the ozone layer was what was the 80s? It probably was later than that. But even more recently, they've talked about suspending reflective particles in the atmosphere to protect it. But it'd be very different.
But why do people believe conspiracy theories? What is it in the nature of certain people that I'm just so fascinated by it?
That's a good question. That's what I was going to ask you.
I believe that this nation should commit
when
itself
you see it from
to
the
achieving
outside,
the goal
when you see something like
before this decade is out,
like
of landing a
the
man
most
on the
horrific
moon and
ones, like
returning
Sandy
him
Hook,
safely
like
to
Sandy
the
Hook
earth.
being a false flag.
No single
What would be
space
the
project in this
motivation
period
for someone
will be
saying
more
that?
impressive to
What would be the
mankind
motivation?
or more important for the
The
long-range
only
exploration
thing
of space.
the most plausible, I guess, would be capturing an audience, like getting people to believe in you as some seer behind the veil.
Yeah, but that's only the people that are projecting this in terms of in the media.
I'm talking about
through
like an
social
Alex
media.
Jones. Like,
But-
why does he say that?
But my question is, why do other people think it? Why do they look for it? Not a person who's profiting off of it.
I think the reason people look to conspiracy theories is that the world is deeply chaotic and seems to lack a logic, and people are desperate for a system of understanding the world. And conspiracy theories often seem to offer a very, very actually an incredibly simplistic explanation, which is there's this secret thing. There's always a secret thing that is a
Yes.
plan that the public doesn't know about
But
generally.
the real thing is that no one really is at the wheel.
Yeah.
Yes.
The real thing is that, I mean, haven't we learned that from the Trump presidency, right? Like, institutions are just made up of people. Like, they can fall apart if the people that take them over are irresponsible, crazy, venal, narcissistic, everything that we're seeing in the Trump administration.
Well, also,
like,
people...
But isn't that kind of, it's weirdly, I mean, it's both terrifying but also comforting, I think. Like, if
What's
it's people,
comforting about it?
if it's just people, people can also change it.
Right. Okay.
It's not like there's a secret hand that we need to get to.
Yeah.
So, okay, what's the solution? Elect better people. That's the hopeful part.
Do you think that
such as it is,
this constant conflict, this social conflict that we're involved in right now, the woke left and the alt-right and all this jazz, that there's the boiling of it right now will eventually boil down to something more rational? Because if it seems like if you read Steven Pinker's work and people that study violence and danger and society over the course of history, that we're certainly on an upward trend. Even though no one's
all
denying,
the data shows that.
All the data shows that. No one's denying that there's some awful aspects to our culture today and society and crime and violence and fill in the blank.
And wealth disparity and
yes, all those things exist. But there's more understanding of that, there's more awareness of that, and there's certainly a safer world today than was 100, 200 years ago in terms of like your own existence.
Well, just that you're not gonna. A common thing is when comedians steal jokes and material. So when you're writing and you're like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do this awesome idea," how do you know that content already hasn't been discussed?
Well, you don't
I feel like
always. You don't always. You could absolutely write something and have parallel thinking. Write something and not even know that someone's already written it.
Right.
But there's a difference between that and stealing. Like when someone's like, if you like look at something, whatever it is, like say maybe your wife sends you to to the grocery store to pick up some tampons,
right?
And it has the price things all fucked up, and so the guy has to yell price check on tampons.
Yeah, right.
There has been like 100 guys who've done bits on that,
right?
And it's not that they're stealing; they probably didn't hear anybody do it. They thought it was funny. They thought it up themselves, and they did it. Or maybe it even happened to them, and they did it. That's parallel thinking. It's a common one.
Right.
And then there's other people that did hear someone do it, and they stole it.
Oh,
that's a different thing.
That's the worst. Right.
But you could get both of those things from that same subject, right? That same really common, easy to think of subject.
Right.
There's a lot of those with cops and donuts. There's a lot of things that are like a part of the lexicon. They're like they're a part of the way we talk. They're a part of culture.
Right.
And you could think you thought them up, but you didn't.
It's almost like Seinfeld in a way. It's like that shit happens to everyone.
Sure.
Right.
Sure. But then there's stuff that's clearly yours. Like if you did a whole bit about how you built a Tesla.
Right.
And that you think, and then you got paranoid.
That'd be a heavy hitter.
And you thought Elon Musk is plotting against you.
Kill it and crush it.
You could.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Maybe
something.
I'll do that.
And that would be something that's wholly unique to you. I mean, how many fucking people have built a Tesla? Is there even 20 on the earth?
At this point, yeah, probably.
Maybe 20.
Yeah.
Let's pretend.
Yeah.
Let's pretend that out of a 7 billion plus population of human beings, maybe 20 people have done what you've done.
But doesn't it get old, though?
Well, that one bit gets old.
I can't keep looking the same Tesla content over and over
No.
again.
You just talk about other things then.
Right.
Look, you could talk about anything that you find interesting. Personal shit, technology, world events, worrying about the environment, worrying, all this, anything.
Yeah, did that whale really have a bomb strapped to it? I keep thinking about that over and over.
Why not?
Again.
Yeah. I mean, and then maybe it was like someone from CNN that fucking hates the Russians,
right?
And like wanted to blame everything on the Russians. Like, yeah, they got duped for 2 years, saying that there was collusion and that Trump was going down, and they colluded with Russia, and then it turns out that the Mueller report doesn't really necessarily say that,
right?
And then they're like, "Fuck, we got to do something about these goddamn Russians." Yeah. So they hired this whale and they put a strap on him. I don't know.
That was a good story. Shit, that's
not bad.
Off the cuff. So that you write all this stuff down, right? You write 1,700 words, 2,000 words.
And out of that, I might get one line.
Really?
Maybe. Do you know of? There's a very famous painting that shows what appears to be men in crafts flying through the sky in the background of an ancient painting. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do. I actually have a page. One of the first pages I ever put on my website is like a bunch of these, because throughout history, there are these indications of ships, of craft.
But
like,
you know the one I'm talking
Yes.
about? It's like, and it's that's the shape of it. It's also like a plate turned on its side, and then there's a person inside
Yes.
of it.
Yeah, man. It's
and
exciting.
it's flying through in that same. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Like, look
Yeah,
look
it's
how
incredible.
it's flying.
But you know, the thing is that everybody can say art. The one above that's pretty cool because that was a hidden thing. I've studied that one where it says Discovery 15th century. Above her left shoulder, there is an object, and if you really zoom in, look at the dude staring up at it. As a painter, my wife is a painter. Everything is intentional.
Which guy, where's the guy? The guy on the
right
the
over there. It's
right,
pretty cool.
Looking up.
So I think that's 15th century. It said. So the problem with this, Joe, is
Go to the original one, the one that we just looked at, Jamie. The one right before that. Yeah. See, get a big picture of that.
Yeah.
That is so strange. Like
Yeah,
here
man.
you got Christ being crucified, and then above him UFOs. Like, and is that supposed to be aliens or is that supposed to be angels? Like, what is that supposed to be in these things that they have? It's real similar to what we're talking about here.
That's the argument of miracle of Fatima, let's say. I mean, again, this is so speculative. We have a witness here of, Pilate, but when you see something like the miracle of Fatima, if you look at that...
What is the miracle of Fatima?
God, that's that one that was, considered a real miracle by the church, and the 3 kids were getting messages, I'll get this all wrong, but for like months that they're going to be visited and to bring people, and bigger bigger groups gathered to where there was over 100,000 people.
What year is this?
1917.
1917. So, dozens of thousands, if not hundreds, but dozens for sure, see an event, a mass sighting of something that happened. We're talking people that were religious, people that weren't religious, doctors at the time.
That's not a real image, is it, Jamie?
That one was doctored a little bit, so you could see like they're all looking at something.
But that's not real.
Yeah,
But that's
that thing wasn't
but
really
that's
there.
the crowd, right? The crowd is real. Is that right?
Yeah.
So
Picture the crowd
here's
is
the thing. People come out, something happened that was so intense. Some people thought it was religious, that it was a visitation, but other people saw it as technological, like something descended. Look into it. I'm just saying art, pictures, like paintings we're talking about, man, you can interpret them all day. I can't hold on to that. I can hold on to an eyewitness with other eyewitnesses, with radar systems, and with video. We're in a different era now. We don't have to paint it, man. We get to see it. It's fascinating, man.
It is fascinating, but it's way more fascinating when someone like you talks about it versus some fucking random kook. That's what makes me incredibly interested, is just your credibility and the fact that this is not, you don't have a history of seeing wacky shit that other people don't see.
No, just this once.
But it's on video, and that there's other ones as well. It's really strange. And I've seen people try to explain it away, and what I don't like about when they explain it away or attempt to explain it away is that they're trying really hard. They're not going, who knows what this fucking thing is? They're not looking at it like cleanly. They're looking at it like a quote-unquote skeptic. I don't like the idea of being a skeptic. Not that I don't think you should be skeptical of certain things. I certainly think you should be, but there's a lot of people that brand themselves as skeptics. And I think it's a lazy way to look at things. I really do. Because I think you're just looking for the holes in things without looking at it objectively. If you wanted to be a scientist, if you wanted to be someone who is a fan of science, then you have to look at it as a thing. Like, look at this information and let's study this without any bias, any preconceived notions. I don't think they're doing that. They're looking at it and they're trying to find a way where they can justify that it's fake. And they're just doing all sorts of mental gymnastics to try to make it fake. That video that you show where that thing slips off to the left and takes off at incredible rates of speed, that alone should freak people the fuck out.
Yeah, well, I think because people confuse all the time, like we took the video. No, it was another crew that took the video. We watched it for 5 minutes with our eyeballs, and there was 4 of us. And we all have the same story. We all saw the same stuff. We all came back and looked at each other and scratched our head and said, WTF, serious? What was that?
Figured out. But Bisping has said that if GSP can't make it by July, he'll fight somebody else. So he might fight Yoel
old is
Romero.
GSP now?
Michael Bisping blasts Joe Rogan and Nick Diaz for positively promoting cannabis.
Told ya.
But that might not be real. like, you know, by saying blasts, you'd have to hear like what he actually said.
I can't tell what it's from. It doesn't.
It's all
say.
clickbait nowadays.
Yeah,
anyways, right? It's
yeah.
bullshit.
So you might have just seen that. It might have literally been, he's probably hanging out with Joe Rogan. You know,
Did
like
you
one
see?
of those
Did
things.
you see that 60 Minutes on and all the, you know, I know this word's a
It's a good
topical
picture
word,
of you.
The fake news or whatever you see the 60 Minutes on it. Did you see
Hashtag
that one?
fake news.
Oh yeah. I mean, you know, like that word's sort of popular now because I don't know, some people have said it and you know, are popular, but it's amazing now all the people profiting on it. It really showcases. You should check out the 60 Minutes on it. It's incredible.
We've had
Clickbait
it.
stuff.
Do you remember the "You saved me from a bear attack"?
Oh yeah.
There was
yeah. There you
no,
go.
I got attacked by a bear. Joe shot the bear, and there's a whole article.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was all it was.
I got one that said I killed a mountain lion with my belt.
That's right.
At
outside of
Ice
comedy,
House, at the Ice House in Pasadena.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think about that? Do you think that it's I mean, all that stuff is pretty. Do you think there should be controls over it, like just outside of being, you know, the FCC being able to like sue people or whatever that never really happens? It feels like. Do you think that it should?
I don't know, because then there's like things like The Onion. It's like, when do you draw the line? Because The Onion is hilarious. So they'll make like a subtle parody of something and make it completely preposterous.
Right.
And then like pull up a good example of an Onion headline. It's like
What would you say The Onion? What's The Onion?
Do you don't know what The Onion is?
No.
The Onion is a famous parody news site where they make stories that just, if you're smart, you read it and you go, what?
Like Stephen Colbert or something? He's making a parody on it.
Yeah, in a way, yeah. And most of them are pretty humorous, but occasionally people will tweet me with like an Onion story and like, can you fucking believe this shit, man? It's getting out of control. And then you read it and you go, no, hey, dummy, this is comedy. They're writing.
People don't have common sense, so that's a problem with that clickbait stuff. Is they believe it because they can't read it and be like, that's probably whatever. It's just like they believe everything.
Yeah, but I mean, isn't that the case with like cults and the Moonies and Scientology and like there's a lot of nonsense that people believe in. It's not hard to get people to believe in shit. Sure. It's a good question. Like, what do we do about it? Do you leave it up to common sense, which isn't very common today?
No, it's not.
Or do you step in? Yeah, rookie Justice Gorsuch, how do you say his name? Assigned to Supreme Court overnight shift. That's a joke. See, because he's a new Supreme Court guy and they're giving him a shitty gig. See, that's not real. But if somebody read that, they're like, this is bullshit. These fucking liberals, they're just because he's a conservative, they're putting it.
Put him on the night shift.
Yeah. There's no night shift. Man tries using pink 6-pound bowling ball to great amusement. That's not real either. You see, like, it's like what they do. They write these articles that are comedy.
But they pose as news, which is a little, I think it's different because, right, if you have, you know, if you're fiction and you're posing as
real news.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like, where you know, if obviously, like, there's no more journalistic integrity, it feels like.
Well,
I mean, there's some. There is some. It just feels like there's you know, it's just, how do you know? How do you you read the news, you're misinformed. You don't read it, you're misinformed. You're not informed. You're just like, well, you know, what do you do?
So have you been the topic of something?
Oh, I mean, no. There's been fake stuff about me, for sure. Oh, that's like my setting. My dad saying, believe half what you see and none of what you hear.
Right.
You know, I always laugh because there's always some silly thing. My friends will come to me and say, "Hey, do you really do this?" No, I didn't do that.
There's a ton of fake stuff out there. There's a ton of fake stuff.
I'm sure there's a ton of stuff about you.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I just won recently. I disarmed a guy at the Comedy Store. Some guy had a gun, and I disarmed him. A buddy of mine who's a cop said, "Hey, man, congratulations on that. It's
good
tough
job
to do." I'm like, "What?
Good job.
What did I do?"
You saved people. You saved people's lives.
But you could ruin someone's life, you know, in a second.
Yeah.
You know, if someone
the wrong
in a
story.
way they say the wrong word. Someone says he, they all they got to throw is allegedly or something. They say, allegedly raped somebody or something. You know, they ruin some poor guy's life.
Yeah.
You know, reputation just out the window.
Well, that's what they've always been able to do with those supermarket tabloids. Say allegedly from a source. A source tells us that Cam Haines likes to, you know,
be careful
yeah,
here.
exactly. You know what I'm saying? But
Shoot bows.
But yeah,
you don't have to do much more than that, and you kind of cover your ass, and you say, I have to protect my sources. I have the First Amendment right, and It is. It's a weird time. And it's a weird time because essentially the boundaries to publication have been dissolved. It used to be that you had to work for the New York Times or the Washington Post or a newspaper, whatever. Now, all you need is a blog or a Facebook page and you're breaking news, and just Scott Eastwood admits to, wearing women's clothes while he hunts for deer.
That's going to be on one.
Larry David, I wear women's underwear. That's one of the best lines ever.
It's strange. It is definitely, you're right. It's definitely strange. But but who's to decide? I know they're trying to work on some ways to figure it out. I know Facebook is working on some different ways to block fake news, but who's to decide what's fake and what's real? And who's to decide where it becomes parody? When is it funny? Like, when is it The Onion, when it's pretty subtle?
Sure.
And when is it just like some guy making up a story about me saving you from a bear attack? And it's weird.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't sweat
It's
it.
a tough one.
Yeah.
I'm not really concerned.
Yeah.
Look, I'll sleep well at night. I'll be okay, but
it's a
just
weird
seems like a
sign of the
weird time.
times. The times are weird.
Yeah.
We have weird times. And the ability to communicate where anybody can do anything at any time and everybody can find out about it. Like, you could write something on your Twitter page, just publish it, and then it gets to the right amount of people, and then they share it, and then all of a sudden 1 million people have seen it inside of an hour. And
it's crazy, but it's good too.
Yeah.
We've used that for our benefit.
Yeah,
that's
for
what,
sure.
That's what you do all the time.
Oh,
that's what I do.
You have a voice.
This made you have a voice, or me have a voice. You've always had one, but me have one, and so it's an amazing time too.
Well, even my voice is way different now, like having a podcast, and that's much, in a lot of ways, the same thing, because it's just, this is a pretty lean operation, obviously. It's just
I was surprised.
Just a computer, Jamie to figure it out, and then we talk, and then you upload it, and that's it.
Yep.
That's it. There's not a whole lot of steps, and yet this will probably get 5 million downloads, or maybe even more. So it's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird in that sense that it can reach so many different people, and then there's no corporation behind it. There's no Washington Post. So we could just sit here and just make up a bunch of fake shit and just be really adamant that this really happened. And, a lot
of people are going to believe it.
And how could someone stop you from doing that? I don't know if they could. As long as you're not slandering anybody and you're not getting sued.
Most about CM Punk was that he has the WWE background. You would think he would at least be like great on the mic, you know what I mean? And like maybe he can't back it up or fight about it, but like he goes from like cocky and confident, I'm the fucking champ or whatever at WWE to like, just believe in yourself, kids. Like it's like really hard to. I just don't get it.
Don't believe in
yourself. And he has no physical. No physique. He's not like it's kind of sad. I just shit on CM Punk.
Listen, you didn't shit on him. You were honest about him. You were honest about what you saw. I don't think that's shitting on him.
Right.
He's a very nice guy. He's a very nice guy, and he's a hard worker. But he does not have athletic talent. He's missing a lot, and he's a showman. And when he was in the WWE, he was allowed to say, "I am the fucking man," and throw his arms up in the air. Right. And they had it scripted so that he was the man. But, when you're in there with a guy like Mike Jackson, who had zero fear of him and just was so casual and just popping him in the face anytime he wanted to, and literally could have stopped him anytime. If he just got angry and wanted to stop him, he could have stopped him at any point in the fight. And even though he beat him decisively, the performance it pissed Dana White off so bad the way he was fighting that he called him a fucking idiot, and he said he'll never fight in the UFC again. And he won. So, if Mike Jackson went out there and just starched CM Punk with a right hand, left hook combination, and that was the end of it, they would say, well, CM Punk, you gave it a shot. That's it. It's over. Mike, who would you like to fight next? And now it's like, you're not even fighting in the UFC anymore because you should have stopped him like what you were doing. He tickled him.
Yeah.
He fucking tickled him during the fight.
Don't make a joke of the sport. Like, it's already like a joke that if this guy, everyone thinks CM Punk's like a fucking joke. I guess he is, if that's the way they look. But, like, don't make a joke of the sport and, like, not, you know what I mean? Then you're kind of just, like, poking fun at the fans. I get where Dana's coming from.
I get where Dana's coming from, too.
I'd have starched him.
Yeah, the whole thing was very weird. The whole thing was very weird. Like, right away when you see CM Punk holding his hands up and moving stiff and throwing kicks, you're like, oh, Jesus. Like, I don't like that being on pay-per-view. I understand that they're selling pay-per-view cards, but pay-per-view in the UFC should be the elite fighters. Curtis Blades versus Alistair Overeem should have been on that pay-per-view card. That's what should have been there. not what we got to see. You know, what we got to see was just.
Yeah,
It was-
I don't like when it's like now, like you're playing a trick on the fans. You know what I mean? You're promoting this guy as if he's something, and it's like
Yeah.
sparring videos come out, and it's like, what the fuck is this? You know?
Sparring videos were crazy.
It was awful.
It was like a guy who just showed how to
Awful.
spar.
Awful.
It's like you took a dude who's no wrestling background, no nothing, and you're like, all right, this is what I want you to do. This is a jab. This is a right hand. And this is when you throw a kick, I want you to pivot your hips. Go ahead in there and spar. I mean, he doesn't have the ability to move his body right. There's a lot of guys you could take out there that are track and field guys or football players, and you could get them to fight better than him in a couple of weeks.
Right.
Easily, because they're athletes. They're athletes. They would understand how to shift their weight, throw a punch, and
Yeah, the sparring videos that I saw was I think it was from his first fight, but even then, like he signed for like 2 years before he had his first fight or something.
yes.
Like, there's no way that you're 6 years deep in the game and you still are that bad. You know what I mean?
He doesn't have any talent. That's all it is. He just doesn't have physical talent, for whatever reason. Whether it's his approach, his intensity, whether it's not his coaching. He's with Duke fucking Rufus. You know?
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, how does
he's with
Duke feel
Cushman.
about that? He talks about Duke Rufus. And then one of the pre-fights, he said, how do you see this fight? He's like, oh, I really like a head kick. Duke would love to see a head kick. I'm like, I don't think that's going to happen.
Oh, that's so crazy. That's such a crazy thing to say.
Yeah.
You know, Duke's a beautiful person. He's a great guy in every sense of the word. He just is. He's a great guy. He did his best. You know, there's only so much you could do.
Right.
You know, I mean, I'm sure you would love working with Duke. I'm sure he would love working with you. If you and Duke worked together, I'm sure you guys would have a great old time. Because you're Joe fucking Chilling.
That's right.
And he's Duke fucking
Let
Rufus.
him know.
You know, let him know. But you know what I mean? I mean, you have to have something to work with. You know, I mean, if Duke just grabbed some dude from a gas station that has been drinking beer and smoking cigarettes his whole life and had him in a fight in 6 months, how much can you possibly expect?
I don't know, but I would rather see that fight against CM Punk than these other ones, right? Like, let's find out how that one would go. I know a guy you can find at a gas station, beer and cigarettes.
What's interesting is they both guys fought Mickey Gall first, which is weird.
Did you see his Instagram?
Mickey's?
Yeah, he did like his own pre-fight analysis of how it was going to go. It was really good.
Yeah.
It was
Well,
really good.
you know, that was a disaster. When I saw Mickey fight, and then I saw that he was going to fight CM Punk, I was like, who said yes to this? Why the fuck would you say yes to this? This is 100% guaranteed brain damage. There's no way you're going to beat him. You don't have a goddamn chance in hell. You have no chance. And I was saying that people get mad at me. The CM Punk fans are getting mad at me. I'm like, look, this is what I do. My job is to analyze shit. Right. I look at fighters. I look at I understand what I'm talking about, man. Mm-hmm. This is like I got a pit bull and I'm going to put him in a cage with a puppy. What do you think's going to happen? The pit bull's going to kill the puppy. This is what. This is how it works.
Straight up.
This isn't well. Maybe that puppy going to grab him by the face. No. Listen to me. I'm telling you, this is how bad this matchup is. This is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu brown belt with a nasty back game.
Well, I mean,
he's strong and fast.
You look at the matchup with that CM Punk just had Mike Jackson. Mickey beat Mike Jackson in like under a minute.
Smushed him,
right?
Yeah, smushed him. Took his back, strangled him.
He's been out here training with me for like the 3 months now. And the kid's getting really good. His striking's getting really, really good.
He's fucking talented, man.
Really good.
And he talks a lot of shit too.
Yeah, he's good.
Plus, he's got hilarious walkout music when he comes out. Oh, Mickey, you're so fine. You're so fine.
I've been trying to convince him ever since he got here. I called his phone. And it's like, you know, those people have those ringback songs, and they're like fucking horrible elevator music. Every time he answers, and I'm like, dude, turn that fucking shit off. You change it, or at least have it be, hey, Mickey, you're so fine.
Yeah.
You know? And
what is his music that he has on?
It's some trash. It's like just elevator, dun 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 dun, dun, like something awful. Fucking change it, Mickey.
That's
change
the
it,
worst.
buddy.
Nope. Never really had one. Yeah, that's
Joao.
That's just from you. Yeah, that's it.
But even when you were doing taekwondo, no one gave you a nickname?
No.
Joe.
No. When I was playing pool a lot, I was Joe the comedian.
Dude, GSP went off on you on the podcast he just did on your turning sidekick. Holy shit! Talk about endorsements.
He was critiquing
man.
it.
That's
he's saying it's
GSP
good.
for a half an hour is going on about his power. It was incredible.
No shit, George.
Holy shit, that's GSP going off on Joe Rogan.
Yeah, we trained a little afterwards. I switched my mats out. I had those zebra mats that are super smooth. No bueno. Too
slick?
smooth.
Dude,
too
you
slick.
should
no
do
good for
you should do
striking at
a
all. Now the
DVD
texture.
on throwing kicks.
DVD, was it
Yeah.
1997?
Some sort of a video.
People still,
Nah.
John Danaher just put out a DVD.
Well, he put out a video
Yeah,
series,
I
but I
bet
think
he
it's on
did.
demand, right?
Yeah.
I bet he
Bet he
did.
did. John Danaher is living in the
What do you
90s.
mean?
You think
He's
got a
still
flip
wearing
phone?
Wranglers and fucking Under Armour tops. Of course, he put a DVD.
Hey, bro. He's got a strong fanny pack game. He's got a strong fanny pack game.
These are all great points.
Yeah, I would do that. George and I, we went over the front leg sidekick first, which is like the most important part of the turning sidekick. Once you get the front leg sidekick down, you understand how that works. Then you turn, and then it's basically you're turning and then throwing the front leg sidekick. It's just got like an extra push to it. But most people do the front leg sidekick wrong. Their knee is too low.
Yeah.
When your knee is too low, you lose all the power.
Crazy shit.
You think he's going to fight at 55? Yeah, the one
I think he's
going
going
to
to fight at 55, 100%. He's only 185 pounds.
GSP?
Yeah.
He's going to fight at 55?
100%.
What?
And he's only doing it once, and it's going to be the winner of Conor Khabib.
He started doing see, look at this. This is what Wonder Boy does that's weird. That sideways stance is hard to fuck with, man. Here's the problem with stopping hate speech is like who's to decide? Because they're pushing the boundary of what hate speech so far now.
Right.
Like if you call a trans woman a man, that's hate speech. Like that it's
No.
getting
What if that's just an accident?
Yeah, it's still accidental hate speech.
Why? That's crazy.
Because we live in a new world.
No, see, I can't accept that.
You don't go online enough.
If you do it out of malice, like if someone's like, "Hey, I'm Margaret,"
Right.
and a guy goes, "No, I'm not going to call you that." Then that's them being proactively prejudiced, right?
It's them being a dick.
They're being an asshole.
But some people are of the opinion that this is all nonsense.
But if it's an accident, that's not hate speech.
I'm not taking their point, but I do want to play devil's advocate because I've had conversations with people who are pretty intelligent people that say this is all nonsense, and then this trans stuff, and this is a trendy thing that people are really getting into, and some
Right.
people are really like their perceptions of reality is really distorted, and they're being talked into this because it's a thing that a lot of people are doing it, and so they're getting. And I hear that and I go, wow, I don't know if I believe that people are willing to transition to another sex because they're confused.
That's a big leap.
It's a giant ass leap. But here's the other leap. The leap is you telling someone whether or not they feel a certain way. And then the other leap. Here's the other leap. What do you give a fuck?
Yeah,
No. If Bruce Jenner wants to become Caitlyn Jenner, I'll call her Caitlyn.
I don't care.
But if she thinks I'm going to stop making fun of her, she's out of her fucking
See,
mind.
okay, that's what I mean. So you should be allowed to you should be allowed to mock at a freedom that you would anyway.
Every 6'3" person with size 14 high heels gets mocked.
Just listen.
Around the clock.
Anybody would get made fun of for any of that in any other way.
Yes. If you used to be a girl or used to be a dude and now you're a girl, someone's going to make fun of you, and that's just the price you pay for being a person.
But people make fun of everyone for everything.
Everything. You have red hair.
Yeah, this is my whole life.
Your whole life.
But what I can't start a group against it being like,
people
it's
try.
enough of this.
Enough.
No, just it is what it is.
Remember
Everyone
on
has
South
these
Park,
flaws.
though? The kick a ginger
Kick
day?
a ginger day. Yeah.
That wasn't cool.
But you know what's so funny about that? Those guys are so subversive. What they're doing is showing how quickly people jump onto things and go, yeah, fuck them.
It's true.
Fuck them all. So they're so smart. I loved that episode because it was like, that could be a real, and that's how dumb people are. People in the real world have told me, been like, dude, I wonder when Kick a Ginger Day is. That's real to them. But that's, by the way, I played golf with a buddy at the country club that Caitlyn Jenner belongs to. My first question, does she hit from the women's tees or the men's tees? And the guy with me goes, she hits from the women's tees. I'm like, bullshit. See, that's bullshit.
Is it bullshit?
Yeah, dude, because you're a fucking Olympian. You're still.
What's the difference between the women's tees and the men's tees?
I mean, like
distance?
30, 40 yards, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's like doing those push-ups on your knees.
Bullshit.
Yeah. Get on your toes, bitch.
But wait a minute. She has man structured muscle. That didn't go away.
It's all gone.
No way.
There's no muscle. There's no muscle left.
She's still pretty fucking jacked.
Not really, man.
No?
No, I'm going to be honest. I don't think she works out at all. And she's old already, so it's not like her body has.
I still say you go back to the men's tees. But she still has a dick, right?
Nope, she had the operation.
Cut it off. It's gone.
Holla.
Is it gone?
Yes, sir.
Now you get women's tees. If the dick was there, you got to go. You got to go back to the black.
Yeah, there's a lot of fence riders out there in the trans world. You got to pick it.
You got to pick, dude. You got to come. You got to come or go.
That's another thing they're saying. This I don't agree with. They're saying that if you are a person who is male and likes women, if you are unwilling to date a trans woman, it's because you are a transphobic bigot. Including if that trans woman still has a penis, that's of no regard.
You know the funniest thing of all this is, I'm so happy to just be a cisgender, like a fucking. I'm so happy to not have to worry about it. I don't have to worry about it. No one's gonna call me a bigot for not liking a subsect of a kind of a thing that I like. I just like I like women. That's all I know. I like. That's it. I'm
For
fine.
now, they'll come around to you soon. They're gonna get you like they got Bruno Mars. He didn't see it coming.
Come on, that was what did they say?
Went after Bruno
Appropriating
Mars.
black culture.
Cultural appropriation.
You see how many people came to his rescue though? A bunch of people were like, "That's bullshit. He's a musician."
Of course. Yeah. What has he done?
Nothing.
How is he appropriating black culture? Singing awesome.
Made good music.
Yeah,
that's all he did.
That Billionaire song is a wonderful song.
Dude, he made some fucking great songs.
He's a great artist.
It's bullshit to think that people now can stab at anything that you're like, now you're just trying to cause a stir.
They take swings that sometimes don't work. Like, remember when they were trying to block Bossy? Stop saying
yeah,
Bossy.
that's right. Stop.
People were like, fuck off. Like, okay. Trying.
just
trying,
put it out. Just want to put it out.
Put it out there.
Just want to put it out.
Yeah, just giving it a shot.
Yeah, Bruno Mars. They shut that down so fast. And he didn't say anything back.
Good for him.
That's my favorite shit.
Yeah.
That's kind of like, you know how like Samsung and all these other phone companies, they make ads about iPhones. You know, all their ads are based on fuck iPhones.
Yeah.
Apple never makes a response.
Of course.
That's the coolest move, is to be like, whatever.
Train by day, Joe Rogan podcast by night, all day.
Should we wrap this bitch
This
up?
has been fun. I want everybody to know.
We didn't talk about fights at all.
It's okay. You know why?
Did you? Okay, let's go over real
All
quick.
I said was
Do you
Cyborg's gonna punch a
Do you
bitch
feel
in the
like
face.
Jermaine Durandamy should have won, or do you think that she should have been deducted points?
She should have been. Worst case, it should have been a draw. I think the right thing to do was Holly should have won. Even deducting those points, you have to deduct those points. And I think even Jermaine realized that when she goes, "I'll give Holly a rematch right away," because Taint did. She's like, "I'm not a dirty fighter." Like, she knows what she did was fucked up. Holly won that fight.
You think Holly? Well, Holly definitely got the only legit knockdown. You know, she got that. She landed that question mark kick. That was beautiful.
Beautiful.
She hit it
Knocked
behind
her
the
down.
shoulder, came over the top, blang.
I gave Holly the win for octagon control. She landed more leg kicks, and she had the only significant strike in the big strike.
So you're winning
It
the
felt
fight.
like Jermaine Durandamy did more damage when she connected, but she didn't connect as much.
No.
But then Holly did do more damage in two instances. One with the question mark kick, and another time she dropped her with a straight left.
Yes.
That was one of the best punches of the fight, and that was in the, I think it was the
Fifth round,
Fifth
wasn't it?
round, was it?
I feel it was
Might have
fifth.
been the fifth. Yeah, she dropped her, and it was a big moment. So you could say that round and the head kick round, two different rounds, were both easily 10-8, right? When you
100%.
drop someone with a head kick and drop someone with
not 10-8.
You don't think so?
That was
with the
like
new,
off
but you understand there's new rules.
balance.
The new
Which
rules
one?
are
Hold
giving
on, wait a
10-8s
minute.
easier.
Which one? Which one's off balance?
The head kick?
No.
No,
She said
sir.
herself she was dazed.
Nasty combo.
She said herself she was dazed, and there's a picture of it on Mike Winklejohn's or Jackson Winklejohn's Instagram account where you see how well it connected.
Yes.
It's over the top. It's just shin to dome, dude. She's
It's
rocked.
beautiful.
She went down from that. That was legit. But Holly almost kicked her in the face while she was down.
Yeah.
Saw
You know,
that, yeah.
I don't
Perfect
know.
timing.
She might have. You're allowed to kick him in the chest, though. What's interesting is, like, if she saw that her hands were down, she could have just changed the angle a little bit and hit her here.
Which she has the skill to do.
Do you think
Yes.
that's a good rule or a bad rule?
I think the new one-handed rule is perfect. I think that's perfect.
So what is that? What is
Because
that rule?
one hand's down, you can still kick them. But if two hands are
In the
down,
face,
you
in
can't.
the face.
Yeah. So
But Joe-
as soon as one hand comes up, you can kick him in the face.
Okay.
But don't
can
you
knee him in the
think?
face.
I think to get rid of eye gouging, hitting after the bell, and even
Yes.
groin kicks, there's zero tolerance
Yes.
policy where if it happens, we got to deduct the point.
100%.
So it's not up to the ref anymore.
Right.
Because refs don't want to change the outcome of the fight, so they're so scared to deduct the point. What she did to Holly is ridiculous.
She hit her
in
twice
She's been
hard.
in way too many fights. She hit her so hard it changed the outcome of the fight.
Yeah, she
and Holly
rocked
still
her.
won.
She rocked her with a giant right hand at the end of the bell, and it was bad. It was bad to the point where we all went, "Oh!" Like Daniel Cormier was next to me.
It's horrible.
It was the first time I did a commentary with Cormier and Anik, like the three of us together. It was really good. Cormier is great.
It was interesting.
It all depends what kind of judge you got judging the fight, but some judges would look at it the way you guys are looking at. based on what you guys said. And,
some would say the right way.
And then someone said, yeah. And then others would look at it like, okay, Holly was trying to take her down, looked like she was avoiding the stand-up, couldn't take her down. She had her against the cage. It was like some judges will look at that as she doesn't want to fight standing, and she's not able to get the fight to the ground. She's kind of just holding against the cage for safety. Some people look at that as losing a round and not winning a round. You know what I mean?
That's ridiculous because she wants to get free.
It's octagon
It's
control.
ridiculous
She has
because
underhook.
she wants to get free and she can't get free. That means
Yes.
Holly's holding her against
She's
her
dictating
will.
the fight.
Some people look at it like that. No,
Well,
some
that's the
people
only
do.
way
Well, no,
to
that's
look
the
at it.
rules.
That's the only way to
That's
look
literally
at
how
it.
they judge a fight. That's the only way you should judge a fight. The problem is that referee didn't want to change the outcome of the fight. They're so scared of the backlash, they don't do it. So you need to take that power out of their hands and go.
But that same
eye poke.
referee was separating people when they were clinching. It was a lot of weirdness
he's
to
a
it.
moron. New York should not
How
have those big
dare
fights.
you? Can you believe what you just said?
I'm surprised they let him even do that title fight.
They have to. It's New York State. New York State is going to appoint their own referees in a certain amount of fights. And I don't know how many, and I don't know how it works. I don't know what the agreement is, but that's often the case when you go into state athletic commissions.
Yeah,
that they
John
want-
McCarthy, Herb Dean.
I know
and
you have the
have
best.
this guy.
You have
Did they
the
make a
best in the
public-
world. Eve Levine. You have some of the best
Did
in the
Big John
world.
McCarthy or Herb Dean come out and make a statement
Yeah,
about that?
John McCarthy said they should have issued a warning right away, like a strict warning on that first one, which I disagree with. And then he goes, on the second one, I would have took a point. They should have taken a point right away.
Yeah, I agree. I agree for absolutely the second one, but I think the first one was so egregious. Bam! Crack!
Boom, combo.
Yeah,
wobbles her. You have to take a point.
I'm just not buying that. Like I get the heat of the moment. You can't let that happen. I get that you're in the heat of the moment. You want to kill and destroy, and you're Jermaine Durandamy, and you got 46-0 in Muay Thai, and you're a 10-time Muay Thai champion because you're a fucking killer. She's a killer, man. I mean, that's what she is. But there's a rule.
That was
and the
dirty.
rule's the rule. You know what was going on. You know what was going on.
You've been in 46
Yes,
fights
can't
before
do
that, and you never did that. So all of a sudden you're doing it. It's the heat of the moment.
You want to see an immediate
And she did it
rematch?
twice.
Immediate rematch?
That
What do you
145
wanna see?
belt is shit.
I think so.
anyways.
I would say you have to have immediate rematch.
You have to.
But Jermaine Durandamy, look, everybody knows that Cyborg's looming in the background. You know, Cyborg's always going to be there.
There's no winner in this. I mean, Holly should have won, but you have to fight Cyborg next. Enjoy that.
Yeah, it's going to be really.
There's no winner here.
It's going to be really interesting to see what the choice is.
That
Whether or
whole
not they go
division.
straight to a rematch or whether or not they let Cyborg fight.
Well,
Isn't 45 a nightmare for her to suck down to?
No, 40 is. She's done 45 many times. It's not easy. Here's the deal. As you get older and you do it more often, your body resists it more and more and more. And the fact that they make her, I still maintain to this day, they should have never asked her to go to 140. They should have never been trying to get her to 135. They should have just either have a featherweight division or don't.
She said she could do it, though, Joe.
Oh, she's so
Dana
crazy.
said he met with her, and she was like, yeah, we can do it. So that's when they're like, cool, man.
There's so many fighters that drop down a couple weight classes. That's a normal thing in MMA.
She's so big.
She's
dude.
so big, brother.
Well, you get smaller. You
Yeah.
don't-
big, huh?
You get smaller.
Hey,
Many people have
but
done
at
it.
45, what are you
45
gonna
is her
do?
weight class. She can make 45. She's done it before. But even now, like as people get older, again, like there's a lot of
Tougher and
fighters.
tougher.
It gets tougher and tougher, and they can't do it anymore.
That's why working at id Software, and he totally is the guy, and along with the rest of them too, like Romero and those guys, like that group. Fuck, that's
Do you
like,
know him? Do you know John Romero?
I've met him a couple times. You know,
That Daikatana game, he took a lot of shit for that game. That was a fun game.
Yeah.
It took way too long, and there was a lot of bugs in it and all that good stuff. But, dude, I played it when it came out. I was like, this game is fucking badass.
That guy is all of them. They're like the Beatles. You know,
See,
like
it was like Daikatana was like the physics of Quake 1, but with the graphics of that era. See if you can find a video of a Daikatana in game. It was a fun game, and I was like, this might catch on, but people were down on it before it ever came out. There was so
Sure.
much shit talk about it because it took so long and cost so much money, and they had these giant offices in Dallas with this huge penthouse.
Yeah.
and they're spending so much money.
I personally
There it
think
is.
they some of the best work that they. Yeah, look at that. That's a
Listen to
little
that guy
dark.
talking. Yeah, this image right here is dark.
Yeah.
This is not the best video in terms of like what you're able to see in-game stuff.
Yeah, there was a lot of hype and certainly
See if there's some other video, because that's like so dark you can't see anything. Is that it?
Man, it was hard to
Online?
Yeah.
On the internet?
bring up a bunch of other stuff.
Oh yeah.
I think the best work that they did was when they were all together.
Yes.
Like keeping the band together.
Mhm.
That honestly, it's making games is definitely a team sport, and you got to have everybody working together really well if you want to pull it off.
You also have to have like Division I pro athletes. I mean,
Yeah,
not pro. You know, I mean,
Rock stars.
Division I's not a good idea. Like, if you're gonna make a game, you need everybody to be the same level of dedication, same level of hard work.
Rock stars.
Yeah, one of the okay, this is it. Oh, this is why does he have a sword? I never saw this. Usually, it's like, what is this? I don't think this is the game, dude.
It's not it? It says
No.
Daikatana.
No, this is not it.
Okay.
It might be. I
Maybe
don't know.
it's a mod.
I mean, maybe it's a mod. I never saw it like that. What I saw was a lot of cool rocket launchers. Like this one rocket launcher that would shoot and it would come out like DNA strands.
Sure.
Remember the rocket where like two rockets would twist at the same time? They go
Yeah.
back and forth. Yeah, this is what the game looked like. It's just really dark for whatever reason.
I got sword again.
Huh. Maybe like some levels you get a sword. I never saw it. I never saw this either. This looks weird.
I think this is the game though.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, it's been fucking forever since I played it.
I know that Romero likes what we're making, which is a huge compliment.
What is he up to now?
I don't know. He lives in Ireland, I think.
What?
And, yeah, I think so. But when I met him, he was a super nice guy.
And it's funny because when people see old pictures of me, they say I either look like like a Jersey Shore wannabe or like a Backstreet Boys wannabe. Because because I had the earrings in and I had the hair totally spiked. And yeah, that was the style at the time, man.
Well, you're also running a risk because you've got like a little bit of facial hair.
Yeah. I don't have, it's
like
not very masculine, no.
A beard, but
Yeah.
you've got something going on.
It's
You're
just-
definitely a man, or you're a
called-
woman undergoing hormone replacement therapy. You got that Chaz Bono type thing
It's
happening.
this is called a lazy man's beard because I can't even really grow a beard. So it's just this is what it is when I get lazy.
You got a little something going on though.
Yeah, I guess so. Maybe it's the finasteride.
But if you just had the mustache itself, that would be kind of creepy.
No, mustaches, I'm going on a jihad against mustaches because I think for whatever reason they look more ridiculous than full facial hair. I don't know why.
Some people like Sam Elliott, the actor.
I don't know who that is. I
The guy
know
from
Tom
Roadhouse?
Selleck. Okay,
Tom
I've
Selleck.
seen Roadhouse, but
Yeah.
which guy is it in Roadhouse?
Sam Elliott. Everybody knows who he is.
That's not the
He's
main
in The
character.
Big
That's
Lebowski.
Patrick Swayze.
That
is the-
guy.
Oh my, yeah, but he's got the
Come
old,
on.
but he's
Look at
got the
that fucking mustache. What a man.
but the grandpa vibe going on. That's,
Well, he didn't always go to Roadhouse. Look at that. Sam Elliott in Roadhouse.
yeah, but he's a grandpa.
Got a great voice.
Nobody's blowing him because he has a mustache.
Hey, easy. Don't blow his fucking game. There he is. Look at that. Come on. Look at
Yeah,
that.
I mean,
Look at
he
the one
makes
up
it.
above it with the hair. Right? No, there, right there. That's him in Roadhouse.
Yeah, but that's a full beard. That's more of a full beard.
That's true.
And that looks better on him.
I don't know. Look at that. Oh, come on.
Now, I don't think a goatee.
Look at that. Look at that one right there.
I don't think a goatee looks as ridiculous as a mustache alone.
Some guys can pull it off. You know, it's a bold choice.
But it can't look. You can't look overly artsy with it. You know what I mean?
You can't, or you can.
No, you can't. If it looks like you're tied to your goatee as a matter of your identity, then it's a problem. But if it's just a dude who seems like he's rocking a goatee because he just decided one day to rock a goatee, then it's all right.
You know what kind of died out? The
What
soul
did?
patch.
The soul patch, yeah.
That
I haven't
kinda
seen
went
one of those
away.
in forever.
Yeah, that kind of went away.
Did you ever have any facial hair or no?
Just beards.
Just beards?
I grew it way out at one point in time because there was a guy named Evan Tanner who was a MMA fighter that was known for having a big, thick, crazy beard. He was a really interesting guy, and really nice guy too. And he died in he went on sort of a walkabout and decided to go in Death Valley and camp out. And he ran out of water. Couldn't find his water, and he wound up dying from heat. And a lot of us were pretty broken up about it. So a bunch of people online decided to grow out our beards for a certain amount of months. That's me with a full beard.
Wow, so you get you could get a caveman beard going if you wanted.
Oh yeah, I get a full beard. Yeah, and that's me trimming around the cheeks because my
Yeah,
shit
yeah, yeah.
my shit creeps all the way up to my nostrils.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I grew that out for a couple months. I forget how long we decided to grow. Look at that
Oh,
fucking
no.
thing.
What are you doing?
Wasn't that was when he wanted to play Robert Shapiro? Didn't he do that for the OJ movie? I don't think so. I feel like it was.
He has it here too.
Okay, maybe it's just
Yeah, this verifies every single, whisper about John Travolta.
It's a ball tickle.
A ball tickle.
That's what it is. Just it's right there for tickling balls. Anyway.